So with Sustainability Week kicking off this week in Pokemon GO, a brand new Pokemon was introduced into the game. And it turns out this Pokemon is extremely rare, to the point where players are now considering it the most rarest wild spawn we've ever had, and of course, this is also a regional Pokemon at this point. And I'm going to be talking about all of this in today's video, as well as the implications for what this could mean for Pokemon GO's future. Yeah, there's a lot to discuss here. Let's get right into it. Alrighty, how's it going everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon GO video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So, a brand new Pokemon was recently introduced, and it is none other than Silicobra. This is a Pokemon that doesn't necessarily feel like a game changer. It's not necessarily a Pokemon that a lot of players were going to prioritize. But upon its release, people started to find that this is an incredibly difficult to catch Pokemon. Not necessarily because it has a low catch rate like the Galarian legendary birds, it's basically a Pokemon that doesn't appear anywhere. A lot of people assume that this would be a Pokemon that would just be obtainable almost right away, considering it is a new Pokemon that would be spawning in the wild, and people just assume that you would just be able to catch it as soon as it was released. But once the event started, once Sustainability Week kicked off, people were finding that Silicobra was nowhere to be seen. In fact, only a few people were reporting where Silicobra was spawning, and now it became a thing where players were discussing what are the conditions for Silicobra to actually spawn. As it turns out, it's going to be a Pokemon that would only appear in very specific conditions within a different biomes, like all different biomes within Pokemon GO. And if you do not have one of these specific biomes in your area, chances are you will never find Silicobra. And I think this is something that really threw a lot of players off. A lot of people were thinking like this is something completely different. I really do like it, personally. I think it's a great idea that certain Pokemon, once they're released, are actually incredibly difficult to find. I think for a Pokemon like Silicobra, this was not expected. I think a lot of people just assumed this would be a new wild spawn Pokemon. But, as it turns out, it's a really difficult to find regional at this point. There are certain continents that don't even have the right conditions for you to even get this one Pokemon. And I think because of that, it has kind of upped in value. Now all of a sudden, this is a Pokemon that went from a very boring new addition to Pokemon GO to now being highly coveted and highly sought after from pretty much every single Pokemon GO player. If you're lucky enough to get yourself a Silicobra, you're pretty much going to have a Pokemon that barely any players are going to be able to get. The reason why I say that is because some of the conditions that are required for you to get Silicobra, they're so extreme that you would have to go to government facilities in order to get it. That's what people on Reddit are now discovering. And there are certain places in the world where you could get yourself a Silicobra pretty easily. I think one of the locations that was recently uncovered was actually the airport at Salt Lake City. I think that's pretty funny that if you were to be visiting Utah for whatever reason, actually in fact, at one point I even visited Utah for a anniversary trip, and I'm kind of kicking myself because Silicobra wasn't out by then. And of course, at the time, I went to Salt Lake City for the very first time, and I don't even know when I'm going to be ever going back to Salt Lake City. So now I'm feeling like I completely missed out on this super rare Pokemon. But in general, I feel like this is a really cool thing. The fact that you have to go to very specific locations in order to get this one Pokemon. And of course, this Pokemon does evolve into something too, I believe. So that also means it's another Pokedex entry that you could potentially get. It's kind of like a new spin on regional Pokemon. Now, if they were to ever give this Pokemon for a special event like a Pokemon Go Fest or something like that, it'll actually be pretty hype because players will not have this. This is going to be one of those Pokemon that people will be going after in order to finish their Pokedexes. It's kind of like something that we haven't felt in a while, I feel. Like, ever since they released regional Pokemon, it was one of those things where it was a very special Pokemon because you would actually have to travel in order to get it. And of course, this also made a lot of players really upset at those who spoof, because spoofers would be able to get these super rare Pokemon without ever actually having to travel to the locations where those Pokemon spawn. So of course, that gave a lot of legit players a lot of resentment towards spoofers for that reason as well. But regardless of that, I think this is all very interesting. I kind of hope Niantic does it more. I think it'd be very interesting for future events if they were to release a new Pokemon that it would be extremely rare for you to get. It's not going to be something you could just simply walk out and play. It adds a new level of excitement to the game, in my opinion. If you ever happen to get one of these Pokemon, it's going to be kind of like an event. And those are some of the things that Pokemon Go has been missing. It really hasn't felt like a game where you could actually get nice surprises when you go outside and play Pokemon Go. But now they added a new element of that. It was not something that a lot of players were expecting. I think it's a great thing for Pokemon Go. And I totally get that maybe some players will disagree with me. Some players would like to just get every single Pokedex entry just handed to them. I do not necessarily feel like that is sustainable gameplay. I think something that can contribute to the longevity of this game is having certain Pokemon be extremely difficult for you to get and would require a lot of effort for you to get those. Like, that really adds something to Pokemon Go, and I speak out of experience. Anytime I caught a regional in the past that only was obtainable from travel, it was very exciting. It was something that made that trip a lot more exciting, a lot more better, a lot more rewarding. So yeah, I don't know. Personally, I think this is a really cool move. I think it's something that definitely adds a lot to Pokemon Go. Hopefully Niantic will do it again. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nothing really else to share. Again, Silicobra, it's not spawning everywhere. It's spawning in very specific regions around the world. I put up a picture from a Reddit post. There's just been an ongoing effort within the Reddit community, the Silph Road community rather, to actually locate Silicobra. Like, what are the conditions? People are trying to figure it out. It's pretty intense. It's pretty awesome. I haven't really felt that in a while. I haven't really felt this sentiment from the community in a while. This is all looking to be really cool stuff. And also, snowy Castform is suddenly super rare as well. Even in snowy weather, people are finding that snowy Castform is not obtainable. And that makes me really excited because I have snowy Castform, a bunch of them, in my collection. I think I even have a shiny. Yeah, but regardless. Yeah, this is all really cool stuff. Let me know your thoughts regarding this down below. Do you feel like this was a really good move by Niantic? Do you feel like this is something Niantic shouldn't have done? If you feel that way, I would like to know your opinion. Definitely share it in the comments below. Let's have a great discussion. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it and you want to support my channel, best way you could do that is by hitting the like button for this video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already, and make sure you turn on the notification bell so you know exactly when I upload videos. Also, make sure you check out the links in the description below. They're all leading you to some cool stuff and other ways you can support my channel. Yeah, just go and check it out. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you in the next video.